Well, friends, let me say welcome. It is great that you could join us today. My name's James. I head up education and onboarding at Raisley. And if this is your first time jumping on one of our workshops or webinars, a really, really warm welcome. It's great that you could join us. Now, I come from and sitting here a little bit of an escape to the country today, which is out of my normal environment. So if we do have a few little glitches today in regards to going through some of the technical stuff. We'll see how we're going to work our way through. But I'm coming from the land of the Woody people and would love to first off pay our respects to all elders past, present, and future. Now, as I said, this is one of our Raisley workshops. The goal of our workshops is to really help you understand a little bit more about what Raisley is, but more so to enable you to get your hands dirty, diving on in and creating some incredible campaigns for your different fundraising needs. And today we have a really, really unique one. Today we're going to be looking at the organization website template, which has only just been released, and we've got a few little features I want to be taking you through, and probably more so exploring why you would possibly even use this as an option within Raisley. Now, before we get into all that, I'd love to know who's online. So if you have joined us into this workshop, please use the chat function. I'd love you just to say hi, that I'm there. It helps me know that there's actually real people on the other end of this, and it sort of gives a bit of a sense of to who I'm going to be chatting to as well. We also have a great option for you to ask questions today. So if you do have any questions around the organization website template, or in regards to sort of maybe even Raisley in general, feel free to use the Q&A feature in Zoom. I'd really encourage you to do that. I'll sort of have a few little moments through that. Hey, there's someone who jumped on. Thank you so much for jumping on the chat there. There'll be a few moments today to be sort of asking some questions. And I'm really, really keen in this little half an hour session is to not take it all up with me just talking. I would really, really love for you to be asking questions around what's relevant for you and some of the things that you may want help with. At the end of our webinar, I will point you to some further support that you can get within Raisley. There's so much in our ecosystem to help you sort of move forward with it. So please stay tuned to the end so I can give you some of those informations on how you can get further support from this as well. Well, what are we actually going to be looking at today? We're going to be looking at our new release template, which is our organization template. So I'm going to sort of switch screens and I'll show you just a really quick preview of what this is and a cool example of one I've actually skinned out for you as well. So let me quickly jump over and we can have a look into here. Now, as you can see, this is our organization website, but with a slight difference. This is actually one I've skinned out with the Raisley brand. And as you can sort of see, you're scrolling down, it feels very, very Raisley through here, but there are some sort of common features that you'll see within the template as well. Now, why don't I jump out of here, but I'll show you this in just a moment, but I'll go into my Raisley account and you can actually have a look in here. Let's open up the live site. And what you're able to see is what the template actually looks like out of the box. And so as you can see here, here's what we're going to be viewing. Now, this template I'm really kind of in love with. It's got some really good design features that have been coming across from our design team. And I think that'll be a really good shortcut for you in order to develop a really clean and simple looking website to sort of right out of the box. And you can just apply some of your branding and you can really get going. There are a couple of really cool little features on this one, which I love, that I'll sort of talk about a bit later on. But we're looking here is one of my favorite features, which is the new feed block. It really gives you a lot more flexibility to be using as well. But as you can see, we've got sort of the stats block available, donation form here, and a few little different things as well. If I go into the About page, you will notice also that there are a couple of other new little blocks. This block particularly, which is our personal grid block, and that's a really, really great one to be utilizing if you just want to display off your team as well. So there's a few things going on there. As you can see on the back end, it looks very much like Raisley. With the organization website template, we've simplified it down a little bit to not give you 1,000 different pages that you may need to sort of edit out, but really sort of looking at some of the main pages that you might want to be utilizing as well, such as an About page, a Donut page, a donate page, and a Get Involved page as well. And so you can go into the page and explore that. As with all of our templates, we do go into messages, and it does come with the normal standardized custom messaging that you can be utilizing in this as well. Probably the primary one that you're going to be using for a campaign like this would be, say, the donation receipt, and also the regular donation notifications as well that can come through that. You also have the full availability to put a ticketing function in there as well. So you can use that ticketing form and use the ticket function that comes with that. There really is no feature within Razely that you can't use within this template except one, and that is profile creation. So if you are looking to create profiles for a peer-to-peer campaign, you will need to use a different template than this one. These templates are a little bit more similar to sort of our appeals template, which is along the same kind of lines as that. But you can't use this one for utilizing fundraising profiles. You need to use one of our peer-to-peer templates or our community hub templates for that, if that's what you're looking for as well. Now, we've got a whole bunch of things that we're going to be going into this that I want to sort of explore a little bit. I'll dive on in. The first thing I want to show you really is how simple it is to actually make a template like this your own. If I go into my design settings, you can find here you've got a few things that you can change first up. And these are really where you can do a lot of the beefy ends of looking at how to actually make this come across to your visual brand. As you can see in this example that I've had before, this is really with a few very, very basic design settings. All I've really done is changed our fonts out. I've changed our primary and secondary colors out. And I've changed on those. I've actually gone into the page builder and updated some of the imagery as well. Those 3 simple steps of creating the brand colors, updating the fonts, and just utilizing the imagery that I want to already creates a very, very different looking website. And this is really a great feature within Razely, that you can actually build something very, very quickly, which is just brilliant. I find it, particularly if you want to be leaning on a more agile development phase for your organization website as well. So some really, really simple steps. You can actually have this template up and ready for your organization quite quickly. We recently built one through Built by Razely utilizing this template, and the actual build itself to get it on a foundation end really only took about half an hour, which is really, really quite exciting. So you can really do some quick things on this to get it to a really good foundation level. And then really the possibilities after that are endless. You can take the campaign as far as you want sort of after that, which is really, really exciting too. So an encouragement would be to go in there and update some of your brand settings that you can be utilizing. Now, within this template, I'm not going to sort of take you through all that. There is a great video on our YouTube channel, which you can go to. It's uploaded now, that shows you how to merge or basically move from this campaign here, which is straight out of the box, that comes, and how to actually turn it into something that, let's get rid of these. There's a how to actually turn it into something that looks like this. So it's relatively simple. So go onto our YouTube channel. It's all available there. It's a quick 15-minute video taking you through how to make all those brand settings and changes. But I do want to take you to a few unique features around this template, which you may want to be aware of, because these are some features that not only appear in this template, but are going to actually appear in other templates for you to use as well. Now, the first one is, if I go into Pages and go to Home, the first one I want to take you to is through one of my new favorite blocks. Now, this block is called the Feed block. And what it does, it gives you an enormous flexibility to be able to not only display different things across your through one page, utilizing a grid feature. Here it is here. But have the flexibility to actually utilize each of those sections, we'll call it, to link out to anywhere that you want. The reason I love this is because at the core of an organizational website for you may just be the first landing space for people to get taken out to your other experiences. Now, those other experiences could be your campaigns that you're going to be utilizing for as well. It could be just different social media links that you want to put out, different blog links that you want to put out. Well, this little feed is going to give you so many cool options to be able to do that, because if I open up its settings, I can just go through here and actually start adjusting and adding new blocks. Now, the nice part is I can change the heading size, paragraph size. I can change what the feed item heading, description, images. I can change the button text. I've got the link that I want to put in there, and I can also put a date stamp. So you may want to use this instead of maybe the blog feed that's available too, because you can have maybe a little bit more flexibility around that as well. You can really add as many as you want, and you can display up to 1 to 4 per row. So this one is brilliant. I use it a lot. It gives me a lot more flexibility, particularly when you're trying to sort of make it so that this landing page or your core website can link out to other external campaigns within Razely. So really love it. Big fan of utilizing that, and I'll make sure I do put up a video soon on how to make the most of that as well. Now, if I jump out of there, I want to show you another quick one that's been released. Oh, and just that feed block's available for all your campaigns. So you can go in there. If you've got existing campaigns, that block is now available there as well. If I go into the About page, what I can find in the About page is a new little feature called the Personnel block. And this was sort of one that I've been requesting for a little while, where we do sites, and really you just want some team people to be displayed on that. Now, you might want to be presenting your staff or your board members or just your amazing volunteers that are going out there. And this new little block is really going to help enable that for you, nice and simply. If I open up the block, you can see I've got my name, I've got my role, I've got my image. But then I've also got my profile. So what I can do in here is start adding and say, oh, a LinkedIn profile and a Twitter profile. And the icon's going to come up and you can have that link for that person. A really neat little way just to show a really clean block that can actually go out for that person available as well. You can add a whole bunch of them sort of in there, and they're just going to stack through as a grid. So it really nice little block and good little feature for when you need to be putting, particularly on an organization website, who your team, who your board members are, who your volunteers might be as well. So really helpful little block there available. Now, one of the things I will quickly show you on this is some of the design sort of, so actually we'll do two things. One is look at the narrative a little bit. And then we'll look at sort of some of the design settings that you can be choosing for this as well. As you can see, the core narrative is really around expressing your brand purpose and your brand narrative. Who are you? What do you actually do? How do these things build trust with the audience that's going to be looking at that? And that's at the core of it. What really a organization website's going to be doing for you. It's going to really be bringing across brand trust, which is what we sort of have in this one, our purpose, our work. The nice thing I like about these is they give you a nice sort of constraint around how much content you may need for these kind of websites. They don't need to be as full as you may think they need to be. Websites enormously have moved toward being less informative and more action focused. And that's because there's so many other platforms these days that can be informative for you, such as email marketing, social media, blogs, all of that. Whereas your website doesn't need to have all the information. It's just got to really bring across your brand, brand's narrative, what your purpose, what your work is, and also your visuals that come across that as well. I love his feed, where the narrative is going to go into what's happening, making sure that people are updated around how they can get involved with yours. And also impact. Impact's going to be a huge one for people to see, and one that you can update regularly. It's got a core call to action, which is typically always going to be on an organization website, most likely donate, is probably going to be your primary call to action. So a really clean new donation form that we've released recently. And some sort of different things going on with the narrative available there. So it really is a very clean organization website you can dive into, update not a ton of content to really make it sing who you are as a brand. And it comes with all the things that you have in there as well, such as at the core of it, donations. Now, I just got a great question that came on through. I'll have a quick look at these because I'm keen to answer questions today rather than me just rattling on. But we use Razely as our main website already using the current functionality. Two things we would love to have added is a sliding banner and being able to save draft blogs. Either of these features coming with this new template or other developments, they're such great ones. Yeah, so carousel sliders are a really interesting one that people do often want on the hero banners to be able to display different things going on. It is a very, very custom feature. If you did want to, you'd need a developer to implement that one. But we can definitely put it down for you as a feature request. It would be really interesting having some more sort of carousel banners across that as well. One of the encouragements is design most of this for mobile, and sometimes carousel banners aren't that great on mobile. So they work really well on desktop, but often we kind of look at different solutions for mobile. So do have that in mind. The other one is an ability to save draft blogs. I can definitely look into that and sort of post something up, post this workshop to see what our developments are in regards to looking at draft blogs. A lot of people, I think underutilize the blog feature in Razely. It's a really, really good feature. You can be utilizing alongside this. One of the nice parts I like about the blog feature is I have an ability to, if I click this and open up the feed block, is the one I'm going to be looking at. The blog feed block works really, really well because you can apply tags to it, which means in that feed block, let's go blog post feed. So I'll add it here. One of the nice parts on this one is I can open the settings and I can use tags. If I add a tag here, it means that whatever tag I add to the blog, it's going to only bring in those previews available. So say, for example, I put an event tag, create that tag. If I add event to the blog, it's only going to be on that feed, the event ones that are going to come through. So it's a really nice little flexible one that I really like. So totally, if you haven't explored the blog feature, I recommend that you would do that as well. Now, Jaden put one in the chat. Let me have a look. Can you change the size of the blocks, e.g., can you make them smaller? With CSS, you totally can. You can do so much with that. One of the questions would be, without CSS, can you do that? Well, some you can, some you can't. In regards to font sizes, that will change something if you do change the font sizes with that. But the nice part is with any block, you can actually change the sizes to be really whatever you want with some help with some CSS. It really will be looking at what blocks you do want to change. And so my encouragement would be to reach out to support@razely.com. Say, hey, here is the block I want it to change. How would I be able to do that? And they'll be able to guide you through that. I love, Jay, that your next question is, what is CSS? Such a great question. And it's because, like, I'll quickly show you what CSS is. If you open this little paintbrush up, you get the back-end style sheet code that gives you the ability to add a bunch of code into your site. Oh, Jade, don't say sorry at all. It's a great question. You can add some back-end code in order to style your site. Now, this can feel super overwhelming, and I'm really, really keen to do a lot more sort of little workshops and little videos on our YouTube channel to help people through this. The one best thing about this is if you give Razely to a developer, someone who knows how to do a little bit of CSS and web development, is for them, it's such a free playground to run in. Razely is very, very open, allows people to redesign whatever they want. If you're brand new to coding, oh man, it can feel completely overwhelming. So one of the things I really encourage you to do is reach out to support@razely.com. Ask them and show them what type of change you want to be making, and they can guide you through maybe some of the steps to doing that, or give you some information on where to find some great answers for that as well. But my encouragement would be to do that. You can adjust. I can basically make any website in Razely to an extent on a design end because my CSS code skills are pretty decent, right? But the nice part about that always is say it's such a flexible platform that if you want to do something unique, you can. It's just maybe find the skills or the information to find that is that you can. So Jaden, totally can reach out to support. That'd be good. Emily Burns said, can you add a short bio about the team members rather than just their social links? That's a great idea, Emily. At the moment, no. What we can do is we can totally give that feedback to our engineering team to look at maybe that's something they want to add to the block. Many of our blocks do evolve a little bit over time. So your feedback is brilliant on that. If that's something that you're looking at, I can really see how that short little bio can really add to that as well. There are a whole bunch of different blocks you can be utilizing for creating team profiles that maybe give you that flexibility. You could literally just add an image and a text block under that and do what you wanted to do and add social media links and that kind of stuff underneath. The grid block is kind of really built out for something that's nice and quick, very, very simple to be using. But I like the idea, Emily. I'll make sure I'll put that with our engineers as well. Now, one of the little design things I will show you, which is a little bit CSS-y, but not that crazy, is if you go into the paintbrush on any of the pages, on all of our templates, you will actually encounter some of the CSS stylings on this. Now, don't feel overwhelmed with it. A lot of it's there, but on this template particularly, one of our big quests was to simplify this right down. So you're not seeing so much code there that you may not need to worry about. But what it does give you the feature of is to make some global design changes that may be really helpful for you. One of the primary ones here is, as you'll notice, there's some rounded corners that appear on the template. As you can see, rounded corners, whereas rounded corners, and rounded corners. And this is really what's called applying a border radius to it. Now, the nice part is this can be totally adjusted for your site. If that is not something that you like, you can just type in, there you go, type in false. And it has rounded corners. I'm going to type false in. And as you can see now, it's actually going to get rid of all those rounded corners. They're now just going to be square edges, which is kind of neat. Maybe you didn't want a really large one. Well, rounded corner, so I'm going to type in small instead. And that's only going to give me a subtle rounded corner available for that as well. So there's some little global design changes you can make in this template that might really suit alongside your brand as well. You also have other one, which is border headings on H5. This is referring to this little section here on a H5 font. What I mean by that is if I go into the settings on this font, you'll find that it's actually set to H5, which is your heading 5. If you go to design settings, it's your heading 5. If you can actually remove that border across there as well, if that's not something you want. So there's a couple of little design settings that are available that you have there as well. So big encouragement, maybe explore those, have a look at those. But if you go to my little workshop on YouTube, you can sort of see some design changes that I make on this. Really, the order of process when you go into and doing one of these campaigns is update your design settings first, update your header and footer, then update your imagery. What you'll find in there, you'll really get a good sense of how your brand is coming across into this template, and then you can work out from that what are other adjustments I need to be making as well. So a really encouragement there to do that. One of the things I do like about this template is we've actually updated the footer on this to make it a little bit more a bit more information in the footer as well. So as you can see, there's the footer section there. That's a really, really clean template to be utilizing too. So big encouragement is go in, create a new campaign. Simply go to community, go to organization website, create it, and then once you've done that, update your brand, update your header and footer, update your imagery, and you'll find so much has changed on that you'll really be able to work out how to adapt it for yourself following on from there. Now, I do want to sort of get to some other things in regards to sort of more around why you actually be utilizing this template and how it sort of really can help you in your fundraising purposes and your organization's purpose as well. But I do want to encourage you, if you do have a question, please put it in to the Q&A feature like the others have before. It's a great idea. It's a great way for us to get some feedback around this. And it's also a really, really good idea just for you to have any questions answered right now rather than having to go through our support lines as well. So if you do have any Q&As following, please do put those in. But I do want to be having a quick look at a few sort of a bit of information around what really is a website. Like when you actually are looking at an organization website, what are really the things that you're going to be wanting around that, and how is this really going to be benefiting you? Because this is kind of a unique template to be offering with Razy, because all of our other ones are very action purpose driven. They're very much fundraising campaign driven, whereas this one has come in and said, hey, do you know what? If you just want to have a website that shows who you are and who your brand is and have a really simple call to action such as donate, here's a great template to use. So let's just sort of dive into why you would be looking at an organization website and why this may sort of suit your purposes as well. So first of all, what are our websites must have? Now, these have changed a lot in the last 10 years. Websites kind of used to be a lot more informative. Now it's a lot less. They're a lot more sort of action driven, which means that they're only probably at the core of it 3 simple things you need for an organization website. Number 1 is going to be your brand and story. It's going to have to communicate visually, but also informatively who you are. Now, your visual brand needs to be adapted within this so people come and they recognize that this is your organization. But 2, you want a way in which your story can be memorable. Your story can be clearly presented to someone as they're viewing that as well. So that's really still at the heart of it is one of the core reasons you'd have an organization website and you wouldn't just get rid of it and have a Facebook page. The other one you also have is call to actions and forms. It's still one of the unique things that a website does. A website at the core of it will do call to actions and forms. You want a way for people to respond to you rather than just merely giving them information. There's many other spaces that can give information, but a website's great because it gives them call to actions and forms in which you can collect data from them and continue your conversation with them and communication with them. The third thing is also analytics. Is an ability to, alongside their call to actions, track out those call to actions as well. Now, Google Analytics is probably what the core of it, what you want to be integrating with almost pretty much every one of your campaigns within Razely, but particularly this one. So you can be looking at what is the conversion space around the different forms and call to actions you're having. Now, there was a question that came up, how many forms are permitted in the new template? Well, to be honest, as many as you want. The sign-up form is not going to work because you don't have the fundraising profiles. That's for a peer-to-peer one. But you can put as many lead forms in there as you want and actually customize those lead forms there available. Now, from the template, there's a lead form that's put into the footer, which is collect an email address. So that you can integrate people with your newsletter. And the lead form block's really helpful because you put tags on that, which can help you through as well. You can put as many donation forms in there as well that you want. You can customize those how you need. You can put the ticketing form in there if ticketing something that you want to be utilizing on this one as well. So there are some great little forms that you can be putting in those, but really you can put as many as you want into the new template. If you do get stuck with that, do reach out because even though you might have 1,000 forms, you might not want 1,000 forms on that. Now, there's some must-haves with any organization website. It needs to have your brand and story, call to actions and forms, and analytics connected, all of which you can be doing within Razely. Now, why would you use Razely apart from other platforms is probably another question as well. Now, most likely you maybe already have a website on a certain platform that you're utilizing. If that's working for you and it's great, there may be no reason to come over and use the Razely one. But I want to give you sort of 3 reasons where I particularly feel Razely is a great alternative a great answer to your problem of what it looks like to have our organization website somewhere. Now, the first it's going to give you accessibility. One of the things that we hear a lot from is that people within organizations, within different departments, don't have the accessibility into actually making updates or creating new pages or creating landing pages or creating forms or creating different campaigns that they may be needing to actually do their job and actually help their fundraising succeed. One of the great parts with Razely is because the platform is so accessible, so easy to be utilizing, you're not having to worry about training people up to use maybe complicated platforms that include big CRMs or complicated platforms that have so many features that it may be you might feel a bit lost on. But even more so, it's not a platform that says you need to be a web developer. It's actually a platform that gives you so much flexibility, but also it's accessible for someone who's just starting out and not needing to learn all about different sort of web development rules and use cases as well. Yeah, thanks, Peter, for the encouragement. Bravo, James and team. I love all of that. Migrating as lots as possible. Love the platform and see it forming the basis for a number of projects coming up. Ripper. Good on you, Pete. Dive on in there, get in there and tell us how you're going. We'd love to see what you're creating around that as well. Now, also, it gives updates. One of the things that I love about Razely is that you don't have to be worrying continually about making updates to your to your website platform. Many other major platforms are going to cause you to be updating the platform regularly. The great part about having being up on Razely with your website is that updating is all taken care of by Razely itself. There's no need to be doing that. And you also, alongside that, get continual optimization. Razely pursues doggedly how to help you grow your fundraising, because that is our goal, to help you make greater impact on our world and the people within it, is that we want to optimize it so it's having great success for you. So you get all those benefits as well, which is brilliant. You're not having to worry about that, which I really love. And the last one is to look at it's free. There's no hosting or security fees along that, and there's no expensive developer fees to do it. Now, that's mental. Even if there's one reason to go with Razely, it's kind of that one. Because within Razely, the Razely fees sort of asked from your donors from an optional tip, which is just brilliant. And what we really encourage charities to use is one of the most incredible free platforms to enable you to do your digital fundraising. And on this, they have an exceptional organization website. So if that's not enough, I don't know what is of going to Razely. But let me just sort of suggest who this might be for as well. And I'll give you a couple of use cases. The first would be, this is a great, forget this little section below. I've got no idea why that is still there. I'll get rid of it. The two things we want to look at the core of it would be, it's great for small teams. If you're a small team with a lack of resources, but you want a really, really robust platform that's easy to use, this is going to be brilliant for you. It means that you're not going to be settling for maybe solutions that are else free, but really inflexible or very basic. So if you're a small team lacking resources, maybe you're starting out with a charity, this is a no-brainer for it comes with an incredible template. You can just launch into design and concept yourself, and it's going to give you all the function to be able to go out to donors and collect the donations from regular to one-offs as well. So really brilliant one, just for a small team if you maybe lack resources around that. But why is this might be good for, say, organizations that aren't small teams? And the main reason I would argue for it is agility. One of the things that we do see often within web development, within charities, is that there's a slight bottleneck, and bottlenecks can get caused because one particular department may control where your website is, and within that department there might be one person in that space who only looks after your website. And what we're really seeing is a lot more charities wanting to be far more agile in regards to what they can be creating in Razely, and they're really pushing the limits on that, which means that there's more campaigns being developed around that. There's more pages being pushed out there. There's more experiences available for your donors and your fundraisers as well. And a big encouragement of taking things over to Razely is that you can enable a far greater agility, because you can be creating campaigns far faster. You can be duplicating ones that are already in there. You're not needing the concept of a bottleneck. And what we're finding is we're not finding one centralized person is sort of being the Razely manager or the website manager within their campaigns. We're finding these like small teams that are developing across departments, which is really exciting. So we're seeing like a couple of people in the sales team have accounts in there. A couple of people in the marketing team have accounts in there as well. And they're working together to create a great environment and ecosystem so they can be agile, creating great experiences quickly and easily, which is really, really cool. So they're probably the people that I'll be focusing on look at that. It's great for small teams, yes, but one of the best parts that I love about it, it's great for those who want to be agile and to get some stuff out there nice and quickly. So there's a few sort of things of sort of going through Razely as well. But my encouragement is dive in there, create a campaign, update the design settings, header and footer, page imagery, and really see this thing sort of come to life on your end. Now, if there's any other questions, I'd love to answer them. So feel free. I said this was going to be a nice short half an hour workshop, which I think I'm kind of on time on that, but I'd love to answer any more questions that you have. So feel free to use the Q&A feature. I'd love to answer some more questions as we sort of are looking this and wrapping this up. So I'll give people just a moment to put any others in there that they may want as well. Now, the nice part is I'll do some other announcements while I have you as well, and maybe give you some time if you want to ask some more questions. But I really want to just plug a really quick new development within Raiserly, which is which is built by Raiserly. If you're an organization that is looking to have your campaigns built for you, maybe because you're lacking resources or time, or you really just kind of maybe your first campaign and you really just want Raiserly to build it for you because we know what we can do in it and really equip you for a future of fundraising, I'd really encourage you to look into Built by Raiserly. It's a great service offering, and it may really be the great solution for you as you duck in there as well. You can see a couple of our campaigns that we've built for different organizations. We are building a lot at the moment, which has been really exciting. We got able to work with Scouts, our World Scout organization, to develop their one out for them. But if this is this might be an offering that you're really keen to have a look at as you're starting to dive into Raiserly. So do check out Built by Raiserly, raiserly.com/built by Raiserly, and you'll find that there as well. So a big encouragement there. We did have another question. Campaigns be reorganized in the dashboards so that most used campaigns are at the top? Well, that's a really good question. At the moment, no. But let me give you a little bit of a secret, is that Raiserly 4, which is our new version that we've got out at the moment, so actually already released, is coming out with a lot more updates. And one of those huge updates that is going to be making is how you can be looking at your dashboard and how you can be looking at all your campaigns and visually sort of experiencing the sort of the admin end of Raiserly. You are going to see some huge changes coming. We're hoping that a lot of those will be sort of released before Christmas, which will be good, but you'll be seeing others next year as well. The platform has had a lot of work done to it so that we have a lot more flexibility to create some really good admin experiences around that. So there are some really cool things around how you can be sorting and looking at your campaigns and picking those quite quickly, because I agree with you, whoever the anonymous person is, sometimes you're scrolling through different pages to find that campaign you're going to be looking at. It's going to be very different than that. So I really look forward to releasing that for you soon. That will be coming. Now, a big question would be, where do you go to next? If you're looking at using Raiserly, but you're at the moment stuck because you're not sure what to be doing, there's some great support ecosystems available for you. The first one I'd encourage you to do is go to support.raiserly.com, where you're going to find all of our support guides. If you do have suggestions for new ones, please let us know. Email us through, tell us what ones are missing that you'd like to know, and we'll make sure they're developed for you. But that's a great first place to go when you need to answer a question. The second one would be, check out our YouTube channel. It's got full of different videos that we want to be updating every week so that you can sort of see more visually how to be creating stunning campaigns. It also will dive into more on the strategy side around what makes great campaigns and how you can maybe achieve that in Raiserly as well. So some great information you'll find on our YouTube channel. I really encourage you to be looking at that as well. The other one is, if you're getting stuck, please reach out to our support team. They're incredible. They're an amazing group of human beings that are there to support you in creating your fundraising ideas. So do reach out to support@raiserly.com, and you'll be able to find find one of our team members to help guide you through your next steps around there. Now, thank you, Jaden, for dropping that. A pleasure to do this. She's taken it over as Marcom's chair of the board, and now in charge of their website on Raiserly. Total novice, but this session is really helpful to upskill fast. Jaden, that's great news. I love that you've come on board with Raiserly, and I really, really hope that this is a terrific platform that you can find. Reach out if you need help. We're totally there to help you sort that out. Now, I can't see any other sort of questions in there. Oh, no, there is one from Luke. I'm looking for lots of event-based case studies and site examples. I can find some on Raiserly.com, but I need more than there are there. Where could I find more? That's a really good question. One of the ones that I'll point you to is Built by Raiserly. So the Built by Raiserly page is going to be able to be showing more of the campaigns that Raiserly builds for clients as well. So you'll be able to find some more information there too. At times it can be a little bit needle in a haystack. We're trying to find different ones too. So Luke, one of my encouragements would be, why don't you reach out to support@raiserly.com, give us that suggestion, and I'll make sure that we can send you some more examples of some event websites, some event campaigns that have been built in Razely as well. It's a good encouragement for Razely too to show off what's being built in Razely. We have so many clients in Razely that are building some extraordinary campaigns, and keeping up the speed of publicize those and write case studies for those. Yeah, we really should sort of get cracking on many more of those. So thanks for the reminder. It's really good. I'll make sure that we can maybe sort some more of that out for you as well. But do check out Built by Razely and email support at razely.com, and we'll maybe send you over a few examples as well that might particularly help you get there as well. So hopefully, I love that. Danny said Razely support are fantastic. They are totally fantastic. I love our team. So really reach out there. They really want to serve your needs around there. Well, I'm going to leave it there with the Q&A. Thank you so much for connecting today. It's a joy that I could come to you on sort of farm life down here on this webinar. Do create an organization website campaign. Have a play with it. Dive on in. Create what you think. Share it with us. Show us what you've actually developed. Email it to us. And do check out from this the other video available on our YouTube channel on how to actually start building out that. We have a really great support guide as well for organization website that I really encourage you to be looking at as well. It's going to give you, our companion guide. It'll give you a little bit more support as you dive on into that. So support.razely.com and look for the companion guide there. And if you need to leave any comments, do leave those in the YouTube channel as well. On that video that you might go through on our YouTube channel, you can put some comments in there and we answer those daily. So do put some in there if there's things you're not sure about, there's things you like, if there's things you don't like or would like to see improved or some feature updates, let us know. Put that in the comment section in YouTube. There's plenty of ways to get in touch with us. If you're looking for our next workshops as well, please head to razely.com/workshops and you'll see weekly workshops that we're putting up as well. If you're looking to build an appeal campaign, a peer-to-peer campaign, an event campaign, or look at Razely's CRM and messages function and looking at Razely Pro, we've got weekly workshops that you can dive into, half an hour long, that will take you through all of those campaign types, particularly helpful if you're starting out as well. So I do encourage you to jump on those. They're weekly. Check out razely.com/workshops. Now, I've given you a lot there. Thank you so much for joining in Razely. Do tune in next time. We're looking forward to sort of seeing your campaigns be brought to life in Razely, and let us know through our support channels if we can help. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.